let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and take this off right here. Welcome back, Vestas, to Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge. I got proof, like I told you, that $17.7 million did not include his jersey sales. That was a totally separate transaction. First of all, I knew when an article came out and it said group licensing royalties, that had nothing to do with those jerseys. That says group. But there is some conditions. I found that too. But just by looking at the numbers, if it came out last year that Shedeur Sanders, I ain't gonna break it down like that. I'ma say that one. Let me go ahead and tell for the. Oh, I got 15,000 people in here already. Let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and say this right here. If it came out last year that Shedeur Sanders, see, last year we didn't have these other 13 numbers, two other additional amounts that came out about 72 hours ago. So, but if we did know that Shedeur Sanders, he got over about $14 to $15 million last year in jersey, and if the total just came out to be 17.7 million, okay, but then we got told of a 9.7 or 9.27 million dollar payment last May before the jerseys, and it was an additional payment of 2.2 million. That was the second highest deposit that he got. If you just add those three numbers together, that's more than 17 million. So go ahead and add the 14, the 9.7, and the 2.2. Something ain't right. That's how I knew by doing the math. Shedeur Sanders, that 17.7 million is totally separate. Now, when he got it and how he got it, well, we do know he got one payment in last May, and he got the second largest payment in January, which I think, hint, I think they paid him because they promoted the Pro Bowl off of his name, likeness, and name, image, and likeness. But you didn't hear from me. I think that's why he got that second largest deposit in January of this year. But hey, if you don't believe me, what else significant happened in January? Think about it. Right, Destin. Right. That's what Coach Prime says. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up so y'all know exactly what we're talking about. Coach Prime said that 17.7 did not include the jerseys. Right. He said, let me tell y'all one thing. That did not include the jersey sales. I said, bingo, bingo, bingo. Hold on. Bucky got Nike deal with multimedia and merch partners. Hey, we finna go over some of that too. Let me go ahead and get this video for you to show you proof that Coach Prime says that jersey sales was not in that 17.7. That means Shedeur Sanders is making money hand over fist in the background, just saying shh. That's why he's smiling like that, y'all. But just remember, he got 9.2 or 9.7 last May. So Shedeur Sanders, even before the jersey sales, had already got roughly $10 million in his deposit. You know why I know that? Because in that LM Form -2, they stated itemized item. Shedeur Sanders got that deposit last May 16, 2025. That's how I know it wasn't part of the jersey sales. And I don't care what that article say. I don't care if they tried to associate that with some trading cards. No. That's because the NFL had to pay Shedeur Sanders for all of them commercials, additional commercials, and ads that they got. Ads they got in terms of the NFL draft slide. Think about it. All that additional money. Hey, matter of fact, we're going to talk about that behind the scenes, okay? We're going to talk about that behind the scenes. Let me go back to the comments. Oh, I need to find this right here. I need to go ahead and find this right here. Let's see here. Come on to the stage, Coach Prime.
I just had a kid that made the most money in the history of the NFL in sales. That one even includes jerseys. Y'all don't know that. That was another deal. Rooting in the hate and the love.
Go ahead, Coach Prime, for go ahead and confirming what I said. It had nothing to do with them jersey sales. So that means that Shedeur Sanders got his piggy bank money regarding his salary of 1.6. That once you do the math and the taxes and everything, and that jock pay and all them taxes and football taxes and state taxes he had to pay in California when he went to the Pro Bowl, that was chump change. Matter of fact, he probably gave all that to Shiloh. Because after we did the math, he probably came home with roughly $600,000 because of the taxes from California, which is also something that Myles Garrett now got to calculate. But let me go ahead and tell you why I say this. That was chump change. He just basically donated that off. Because Shedeur Sanders, he got that jersey sales, $14 to $15 million. Now we know he already got them that $17.7 million in royalties. Something that we're gonna also discuss behind the scenes. They asked me when in my comments and said, well, Tony Talks Vested Up, how much did the NFL generate last year? Y'all look at this number. $23 billion in annual revenue, which covers 2024 season and extends into 2025. So we don't even really have the figure. Well, we'll say 2025. This is multiple reports in 2025 cite league revenue is having surpassed the $23 billion mark. All right. Now, the NFL, I'm bringing this up because I'm going to go into this group licensing royalties that Shedeur Sanders got, which this was to prove before Deion Sanders came out and said this, that the jersey sales was not part of that 17.7. All right, but see, here you go. Total NFL revenue, 23 plus billion. All right, shared national revenue is 13.8 per team national distribution. So that means that each team got paid this amount, let's say last year, $432 million in NFL sponsorship revenue. 2.7 NFL sponsorship revenue, $2.7 billion. Let's keep going. All right, now this is where I was showing proof that the jersey sales was not in here. I left one off. Hold one. And in the meantime, you can read number 3, distribution to eligible players. Royalties are distributed to players who have signed the GLA assignment. The exact allocation methodology can vary by licensing programs and agreements. There is. Oh, here we go. Read the bottom. And I'm going to bring up another slide. A notable exception. This is what you need to pay attention to. A notable exception is individual endorsements. Now, that jersey sale was not an endorsement. That, like Deion Sanders said, that was something different, right? Now, if a company signs a separate deal with a player such as Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, those payments are typically governed by a player's personal endorsement contract rather than the NFL grouping licensing pool. All right, let me look for this other slide here. And if I don't see it, I will bring it up tomorrow during the lunch special. It will be a lunch special tomorrow. Because we're going to talk about this money here. We're going to talk about this money. Like I say over here, we talk about stats. We're going to talk about finances. We're going to talk about investigations. We're going to talk about the NFL 365 degrees. And I mean that. I definitely mean that. Let's see here. Let me go and bring up this last slide here. Now, this is where that CBA, that collective bargaining agreement that we talked about from the NFLPA, and y'all already know I did my homework. I thought that this was an agreement that is reviewed and modified and need be on an annual basis. No, this is a 10-year contract. So the next time that this CBA will be modified, revamped, or reviewed, and a new one would be approved, would be 2030. So we're talking about 4 more years. So Shedeur Sanders is under this right here. And now that the Cleveland Browns is still playing around with the quarterback competition, Myles Garrett is gone. Guess what? I'm finna start looking at the CBA a little bit more to see what else Shedeur Sanders will be owed. And also in the CBA, and I was talking to fans when we was celebrating that 17.7. I said PPF3. No, it is PP3. PP3 level. Shedeur Sanders, besides this endorsements and the group licensing agreements that he signed, Shedeur Sanders, just by, there is a clause in here, I think it's article, I forgot what the article was in the CBA regarding PP3. Shedeur Sanders is going to get more money in year 3 and year 4 just by performing. Come on, Tony Talks, get it out. Just by performing at the level of a round 1 quarterback. Remember, he was drafted round 5. Just by going by the Pro Bowl his rookie year, that already guaranteed the highest level of back compensation ever, which is also going to prepare Shedeur Sanders. Just by having this on his resume, it's going to prepare him for the ultimate contract for his 2nd year contract, including that back pay that Shedeur Sanders is going to get. We're going to talk about more about that because that's where that money is. But look at this. The CBA recognized that players assigned certain. Shedeur Sanders too now. Because remember, Deion Sanders said that was a separate agreement. That was a separate endorsement. That was a separate check. Look at this right here. Article 4, Section 7. NFLPA Group Licensing Program. Here's what it says. For all of the vessels that are driving and cannot read this. It says that the CBA recognizes that players assign certain group licensing rights to the NFLPA. Specifically, group licenses generally applies when 6 or more NFL players are used together in products, merchandise, video games, trading cards, fantasy products, advertising campaigns, and similar commercial programs. Now, we already know that Shedeur Sanders have been in commercials, but we also have to remember that Shedeur Sanders was in international advising advertising campaigns. Well, Tony Talks VestedUp, what you talking about? Don't forget that game in London. Don't forget that game in London. Remember when Americans was going over there to support the game? They had big old, what y'all call them thing, poster boards of Shedeur Sanders that they was taking pictures with. Shedeur Sanders, even though he didn't play that game, Shedeur Sanders got some of that commercial rights. He got some of those tickets. Listen, do y'all remember the audio clip that I played with Maurice Smith when he said that the reason why he sued the NFL is because the NFLPA and the NFL wasn't collusion against the players because they was trying to cut them out of the money? He said that the players, they get a cut of commercials, ads, anything that generates revenue. The player's supposed to get a portion of that. And now I know he did not one time I don't recall him using group licensing agreement, but this is exactly what Maurice Smith was talking about, y'all. Like I said in that other live, looking at these numbers and royalties that Shedeur Sanders get, because he is the highest paid in NFL history. Once again, this 5th rounder broke another NFL record, y'all. Even with they playing with his name and his talent by having another quarterback competition. It is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. If they're trading Myles Garrett, yeah, they will make Shedeur Sanders go through a quarterback competition.